serving as coroner, and I'm going to continue on doing the job. And I appreciate all the supports and all the prayers.
Despite those words, Cape County Coroner Wavis Jordan is out of office. A Missouri judge immediately removed him this afternoon on the heels of criminal charges filed by the Missouri Attorney General's office. Good afternoon, everyone. Missouri's top law enforcement officer called for Jordan's immediate removal, and a judge agreed.
Wavis Jordan will not be able to perform the duties of coroner as the civil effort to have him permanently removed from office moves forward. Now, you'll hear from the Attorney General, Andrew Bailey, exclusively in just a moment. But first, here's a closer look at the criminal and civil cases filed against Jordan in Cape Girardeau County this morning. The felony complaint against Wavis Jordan contains 4 counts. Stealing without consent, a misdemeanor, alleges Jordan took money from a dead man's wallet back in April 2023. The Attorney General's office provided these police photos showing the man's wallet before and after Jordan took possession of it. The next 3 counts are felonies, providing false information to vital records. Each of these counts alleges Jordan made false statements on death certificates, reporting causes of death as heart attack or probable heart attack and manners of death as natural, while failing to fully investigate those deaths and while knowing the causes were not natural. The civil action, called a quo warranto, seeks to remove Wavis Jordan from office. The Attorney General's office calls Jordan a failed coroner, then lists 7 reasons why he should be removed. Along with the allegations made in the criminal charges, the quo also alleges Jordan failed to investigate causes and manners of death, failed to obtain blood samples from 2 fatal crash victims, and solicited family members regarding funeral arrangements, overriding their wishes. The Missouri Attorney General's office sent investigators to Cape Girardeau County to work both the criminal case filed against Wavis Jordan and the civil petition seeking to remove him from office permanently. I sat down exclusively with Andrew Bailey Wednesday afternoon as his office prepared to file both cases.
First of all, appreciate your reporting on this issue. I mean, these are serious allegations.
I sat down with Attorney General Andrew Bailey Wednesday afternoon as his office prepared to file criminal charges against Coroner Wavis Jordan, along with a civil action called a quo warranto that seeks to remove him from office.
It's not something I take lightly. I've worked in a county prosecutor's office. I respect the work that our county officials do, but at the same time, we won't hesitate to use the safety valve provided in statute by the people's elected representatives and take action when necessary.
The civil petition includes an emergency order calling on a judge to take action immediately to relieve Jordan of his duties.
It would be our intent, our desire, and our hope that the case would proceed as expeditiously as possible. The people of Cape County deserve that, because it's the people of Cape County that suffer while the case is pending.
I asked the Attorney General about the felony charge his office filed against Coroner Jordan, providing false information to vital records. He told me the state statutes that create public offices place certain duties on public officers like Jordan.
And one of those duties is to ensure that the public documents, the official documents being filed by our public officials, are truthful and accurate. And in the same way that it is unlawful for a witness on the witness stand to perjure themselves by lying, it is unlawful for public officials to lie in public records that are part of their official duties.
I noticed in your language when your office announced the quo against the now former Iron County Sheriff, you demanded his resignation. Will you use that same language? Will you demand Coroner Jordan resign?
That's always the better outcome. The resignation is always the best result, because at the end of the day, what the quo is going to do is remove the public official. If they're willing to do that voluntarily and restore faith and trust and confidence in the operations of local government, that is a better result for the citizens of this county.
The Attorney General's civil action against Coroner Jordan describes many of the concerns families brought to us throughout our first alert investigation, including wrong causes of death and failure to investigate causes of death. If you could speak to the people, the victims, the people whose stories are contained in the quo, what would you say to them?
You know, my heart goes out to those victims. You know, as a former prosecutor, as a former attorney for a county juvenile office, as someone who's worked with victims and seen how they experience the court process. I'll tell you, victims have certain rights under state statute and under the Missouri Constitution. And as Attorney General, I get up every day motivated to fight for those victims' rights. And our heart is with you. We're going to fight for justice.
And again, we learned earlier this afternoon a judge granted Andrew Bailey's motion to remove Coroner Jordan from office immediately for the duration of the quo warranto process. And I can tell you that civil investigation included interviews with nearly every family I profiled as part of my first alert investigation into the coroner's conduct.
My wife and I were thankful. We're optimistic. You know, the goal of coming forward and sharing this was one, hopes that others that experience something similar would also come forward, and really more important, to hopefully prevent this from happening to others in the future.
Tonight at 6, my exclusive coverage continues with their reaction to the criminal charges and the civil effort to permanently remove Wavis Jordan from office. From optimism and relief to apprehension and a bit of shock, they share how they're feeling about the role they played in coming forward and how their individual experiences came together to make their voices heard.